Do you smell that? We have new cards in the air in NBA 2K23 My Team. It smells like disappointment. As you can see, we got some new cards dropping tomorrow. Honestly, kind of, I don't want to say disappointing, because I feel like having Kareem and like Magic in the mix is not disappointing in any way, shape, or form, but I think it's just the endgame concept in general. So we got the endgame Kareem Abdul-Jabbar packs tomorrow. Obviously, you're going to be able to buy Magic, Kareem, and Larry Bird for $50. You also got Invincible Ja Morant, I guess, and Ray Allen. So altogether, not the most exciting drop in the world, but we'll talk about it. Magic's going to be fire, by the way. He is going to be really good. The only thing that ever seems to hold Magic back is the Magic Johnson SIGs themselves. So as boring as it is to have every single card have the same dribble style, the same moves, same general SIGs, KPJ with Sadiq Bey upper, there are certain times where it's a positive. Like for Magic Johnson, for instance, I would say that's a positive because it's like Magic didn't exactly have the quote-unquote most meta SIGs in the world. So let's talk about Ray Allen first. Ray Allen 6'5", 6'8" wingspan. I mean, realistically, outside of even with the tendencies, I mean, this Ray Allen, the Splash Zone one's basically the Invincible one. Like, the Invincible one that we're getting tomorrow is not going to be all that different. He's even a Sonics player, so, it's really not that much different because this Ray Allen had, great tendencies. I mean, they're going to change the animations and stuff like that, but honestly, I don't even mind them really messing with them. I know Curry Slide isn't quite as overpowered as it has been in the past, for sure. They've definitely nuked it since 2K21, but some people really like it. We talked about it quite a bit on the podcast. It's a bummer that they change a lot of these SIGs and make them in a more meta fashion. But that being said, I mean, if you want Ray Allen, I'll be honest, you're better off buying the Splash Zone Ray Allen. Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that he is ridiculously cheap. I'm pretty sure you can get him for under 10,000 MT, whereas the Invincible one likely going to be probably 50 or 60, I would say, possibly less. But you can get this one for 7,000 MT, and at the end of the day, he's not going to be much worse than the Invincible one. I mean, the tendencies are really the only huge marketable difference between cards that came out in Season 7 and Invincibles anyway. So the fact that his tendencies are elite on their own, you don't really need it. They're not going to change his release. There's no way. I mean, maybe they do. But Ray Allen base, I love it. It's been a base I've loved all year. Ray Allen's just been good. It's not quite as overpowered as it's been in the past, kind of like the Curry Slide, but it's good. I mean, he's got the Kawhi motion style, too. There's not really much to hate here. Ray Allen should be good. He's just a little bit undersized at this point, which is crazy when you think about the fact that the game is at a place, and I mean, it gets to this place every single year, but it's just nuts that it's at a place where a 6'5" shooting guard is just too small. It's nuts. Then we got Ja Morant. I would say similar things about Ja Morant. I mean, his block shot tendency is going to be up. His foul tendency and take charge tendency is going to be tweaked a little bit too. And his animations are going to be tweaked. He's not going to have the John Wall escape, which a lot of people, especially people who like to rim run, love the John Wall escape. So it's just another one of those things where I wish they would switch up the SIGs, because there's certain cards that are going to be better for certain play styles and things like that. So it's just kind of whatever. I mean, Ja Morant should be fine. If you want Ja Morant, cool. If not, also cool. But if you really just want a Ja Morant card and you don't want to spend an absurd amount of MT on it, not to say that 40, 50K is an absurd amount of MT, but I mean, you can get this one for 15K, the Rush one. So you're probably better off doing that. I don't know if they're going to change his jump shot, though it's entirely possible they do. I personally like Ja Morant's jump shot this year. I think I'm just a fan of jump shots that aren't Kevin Porter Jr. release at this point. I just like variety. But I mean, Ja Morant was the GOAT in the beginning of the game. You know what I mean? I feel like I ran into this card all the time in the beginning, man. It's crazy. Then we got Kareem, 7'2" with a 7'5" wingspan. I actually like his release, but I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of it, so obviously KPJ is going to be superior. He's going to be the best power forward in the game for sure. No question about it. Kareem is going to be the apex power forward. I would say the apex squads that you're going to run into at this stage are either Jokic or Magic. Magic's probably going to be up there too, right? And then at the shooting guard, probably Granger. Honestly, Granger is probably there. He might be the best shooting guard in the game, realistically. But it'll be like Granger or like Durant or like Paul George. I think people love Paul George. I personally think Granger's a little bit better. It's just me, though. And then Wemby, Kareem, and Hero Yao until we get, the real Yao. But Kareem should be good. The real changes are going to be obviously the escape, the jump shot. They're going to switch it over to Kawhi motion style. There's going to be a lot of changes here, and he's definitely going to be like a better card. I'm hoping this means that the Invincible one's going to come down in price quite a bit, because I honestly have no issue running Invincible Kareem at my power forward as opposed to the endgame one, but that's just me. Also, I like Kareem, man. Kareem's cool. He makes the all-criminal squad because he did get that cannabis-related charge back in the 70s. He also punched that white dude in the face. That was pretty sick. I don't really even know who that is, but it's super funny. So, whatever. Kareem is an all-time player. From my team history and regular history. I was going to say player. All-time great. I was just having this debate with a few of my homies last night about how you can make a legitimate case for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being the greatest NBA player to ever lace up and touch the court. I personally don't believe that because I think Jordan is the best. And I'm sure you're watching this frothing at the mouth, ready to type about how LeBron's better than him. I don't care. None of your reasoning is going to work on me. But I just think it's crazy that you could legitimately make the case for Kareem too, because nobody ever talks about that, right? This all came about because one of my buddies said that Shaq was the greatest center of all time. And I was like, dude, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar literally exists. Right? Tangent over. Magic Johnson's going to be interesting. 6'9", 7-foot wingspan. This card was already good, but the Magic Johnson base itself holds it back for sure. That and he has like John Wall escape and stuff like that too, which for rim running purposes is good. He doesn't have the Magic Johnson dribble style. I'm actually unaware if this card trots or not, like other Magic Johnson cards tend to do. But we should have known something was weird when this main event Magic Johnson was like one of the best defensive point guards in the game. That should have been a very, very good indication of like where we were at and where we were heading. But Magic should be really good. I mean, you could still get away with running this card for sure. I'm interested to see like what his price is going to be because I just don't know. But I kind of want to find out. So I'll check when we do the market portion. Now we got Larry Bird, which honestly, I feel like people are probably the least excited about Larry Bird. You're not going to run into Larry Bird all that often. Like if people are going to buy the option pack, I would say 10 out of 10 times, those same people are going to pick either Magic or Kareem, just depending on what their team needs. Nobody's going to pick Larry Bird. Now, Invincible Larry Bird actually wasn't that bad. The Pascal release, I actually really like. I think this is a really, really good like small forward release. I enjoy it. Like Nat Clifton, if you've used Nat Clifton, he's actually really good. Part of the reason I wanted to grind for Elton Brand, but that seems like a lot of work also. Bill Russell, Jokic, obviously everyone's been feasting on it with Jokic. Like, leave a Jokic user open. I promise they'll catch it. But they're going to get rid of his Curry escape. They're going to go into a more meta kind of overall vibe with the endgame card. He's 6'9", 7-foot wingspan. Also, I want to point out that it's interesting that they didn't go out of position with any of these endgames. Now, the reason I want to point that out is because this indicates to me that they are going to go out of position with endgames of the exact same players, right? The fact that we didn't get a shooting guard Larry Bird indicates to me that they're going to drop another Larry Bird at some point that plays shooting guard, right? Same that we didn't get like a small forward version of Kareem, because every year they do this, unless they're going back to basics, which I personally don't believe to be the case. I think we're going to get more versions of these cards, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, whatever. I'm looking to actually pick up this Invincible Larry Bird. I'm not going to grind for the trophy case one because that seems like an absurd amount of work for like an Invincible card that I'm sure is going to be like under 100K relatively soon. But I am definitely interested in picking up Larry Bird for sure. Now, we are going to go talk about the market implications of this pack, but I'm just going to spoil it right now if you don't want to watch the rest of this video for any reason. Larry Bird, Ray Allen, and John Morant are not causing any type of market fluctuations in any way, shape, or form. Now, there is going to be some for Magic and Kareem, so let's go take a look. For those of you wondering at home, why are you wearing a shirt that Charlie Sheen would wear on 2.5 Men? A, because it's comfortable and flowy, and I'm on my divorced man arc right now. And B, because it's actually a Charlie Sheen original that I found at a thrift store for $3. And honestly, Charlie Sheen sucks, dude, for sure. I feel like everyone knows that, but like, you know what? He designed a nice shirt. I'll say that. It's his one positive attribute. Remember when he was off the rail talking about tiger blood and like I have HIV? All right, anyway, segue. Let's talk about Magic Johnson specifically, right? Like, Magic Johnson is going to be the, I would say, premier card from this set. And the reason I say that is because he is a 6'9" endgame point guard, which we don't have quite yet. Now, is he going to dampen the price of anybody like Jimmy Butler? Potentially. I mean, Jimmy Butler is what, 6'6", 6'7"? He's 6'7". So, a shade under Magic. Magic is going to be the biggest available endgame point guard. And he's still 6'9", so he's not going to be hampered by a lot of the issues that like Kevin Durant's going to be hampered with in regards to movement, at least to my knowledge. I'll be honest, you're not watching 2K Labs. I try my best to understand these things, but sometimes I'm a little off, okay? But Paul George, he's about the same size, and Paul George moves really well, so I have to assume that he's going to move just fine. He is going to be broken. Direct correlations or direct players that are going to take a hit due to his existence would be like Luka for sure. He's still going to be over 100K. Don't get it twisted. Jimmy, and then going over to the Invincible side, like you're going to see kind of a drop in like how much is Jordan going for right now? Jordan's still going for a solid like 150K, but you're going to see like a drop in literally himself, like the other Magic Johnson, who's already a buyout now. And I'm thinking I want to pick this Magic Johnson up, but I don't want to pay 80K for him straight up. Like, other than that, though, like maybe Lamar Odom drops in price a little bit because of Magic's existence. So a lot of people that like picked up Lamar Odom are probably like selling them off now. You're not going to see a drop in like Hero Ben or Hero Jokic because those cards are, for lack of a better term, they're built different. So I don't think that like they're necessarily going to drop. There's 3 Hero Jokic's. I can't imagine there's very many Hero Bens. No. How many Hero Yaos? Should I have waited to sell my Hero Yao? Probably. Probably around the same. So it's all good. Now this is it's really gonna be annoying because you're almost gonna have to run like Ben Simmons to deal with this Magic Johnson because he's gonna be so broken because he's already like so big, and then you're also adding in KPJ with like Sadiq Bey upper, which I know is not the best off the dribble. Okay, but it's still way better than Magic Johnson base. He's still gonna be super annoying about it. Okay, now Kareem is gonna be another interesting one right off the bat. I mean, Kareem himself is like 300K, which is kind of crazy. I actually don't think he's going to drop below 100K. I've seen a couple people on Twitter say that, and I just really don't believe that to be the case. Like, just in random replies, right? So, I mean, Scotty's still 100K. That's crazy to me. Like, that's actually insane. Larry Bird is going to be cheap, for sure, I would assume, but then again, he's still 200K when you look at him, so he's probably not going to be as cheap. You have to remember that a lot of people don't have these cards. Like, a lot of people don't have Kareem. A lot of people don't have Larry Bird. So they're not really going to drop necessarily as much as you would like. Now, as far as like end games and like who could be affected price-wise, I mean, right off the bat, I would say that Shaq is going to be the first kind of casualty of the Kareem price drop, I guess. Like, Shaq's going to be the one, but people will probably still use him as like a bench power forward. D-Rob will take a pretty substantial hit because I think I've seen D-Rob a few times, but for the most part, people really don't use him, so whatever. And actually, surprisingly, I think Kristaps will take a bit of a hit. He's still 7'3", so it's like you're still dealing with an absolute monster over here. But like, I think people will make the switch from Kareem to Kristaps, so it's going to cause at least some of the cards I just talked about to take some sort of price dip. I was really hoping that Kareem would be like a buyout because I would still run Invincible Kareem. I would actually prefer it, but it's not looking too great at this current moment. Now, as far as like power forward cards, I mean, I wish they would drop more promo cards than this. Like, these 5 promo cards are trash, though. I still haven't picked up Varejao. I just haven't done it yet, but I will. He's like 5,000 MT. Like, I'll get around to it, but it's just annoying. I like promo cards, man. I like random dudes. Like, that came off wrong. I like random players, man. Of course, I click Karl Malone, too. It's just, you know what? I can't save myself today, but I like having, like, Chris Middletons and, like, Josh Smiths in the game and stuff. As a card collector and as someone who likes to play with just like absolute bums, dude, I love it. How much is 16-bit? The fact that people are still running 16-bit Porzingis like heavy is crazy. He's super cheap and he's probably one of the best like power forward options that you could possibly buy for this price. Honestly, like he is. I'm still a big Mark Eaton guy. You guys know this. He's my favorite center in the game. It's not even particularly close. I bought him for about 39 or 40K, I think, and I could actually turn a profit on him because I badged mine out. Got 43 Hoffs, no golds. Love that. But there's not really anyone that I would say specifically is going to be a hit. It's hard to gauge at this stage in the year, like who's going to be affected price-wise. The reason I say that is because like the cards that are still going for over 100K, those cards being like, you know, the hero guys like Yao Ming and like Ben Simmons and honestly to a certain extent Bol Jokic, those guys probably aren't going to be touched until we get new versions of themselves. Like that's just kind of the state that we're in right now. Like we're not going to see a decrease in price in hero Yaos until we get another Yao. Like that's just simply how it is. Same with like Ben Simmons. Like maybe you'll be able to get Ben Simmons for a little bit less because of Magic, but there's only 3 of them, so probably not realistically. I don't know. Look, you know I'm going to be opening packs even though I shouldn't because I'm an idiot, but as always, it's been your friend Sheep Ludes, and I hope you have a good night.